Hello, dear students. Welcome to the new session. In this session, we'll start with a new chapter from Module 4. That chapter is Network Analysis by PERT and CPM. As we know that we have been studying many operations research techniques such as assignment, sequencing, game theory, and transportation, whatever we have studied, and now the network analysis. All these techniques are used for the decision making in a system. The decisions are made by the managers. The long-term decisions are made by the top level management, and aggregate decisions or the moderate decisions are the decisions which involve the moderate time horizon are made by the middle level managers. Then, in that management, one of the most challenging job is to manage the projects, the large scale projects. So, for making an efficient planning, coordinating the numerous activities uh, throughout the completion of the project, and also bringing all the resources which are required to complete that project is one of the most important and challenging job for the managers. Among this, the planning and execution and expediting, that is following up of the activities which are involved in the project, is very crucial and becomes very important. The planning is done through different techniques. There are many techniques are used for making the plans for the project. So the PERT and CPM, the PERT stands for Program Evaluation and Review Technique, and CPM, that is a critical path method. These are the two most widely used techniques of the operations research. Then the most important thing to be understood here is that this network analysis where the PERT and CPM uses is meant for planning and execution and expediting and controlling of the project. And this is the network analysis is meant for the project management. Then let us have a broader concept, have an understanding regarding the broader concept of management, project. There is no any hard and fast definition for the project, but one can say that the project is defined as a combination of interrelated activities which must be executed in certain order or in certain sequence before the entire task is completed. The project means what? It is a cluster, it is a group of activities which are interrelated to each other, and the completion of each activity based on their sequence, based on their dependency, will make the successful completion of the project. And there are some salient characteristics of a project. So which are project has a definite beginning and end point. There is a definite start of a project and there is a definite end for the project. This is one of the salient features or the characteristics. Another is it is not a permanent entity. It is usually a non-repetitive task. As the contrary to the project is the production or product, as the products are manufactured in a repetitive manner. There are some quantities, the same products are manufactured in the repetitive manner, but the projects, they are non-repetitive. Means every time a new project will come, which is having its own or a unique characteristics or the unique, it contains the unique activities with a different time period, with a different which requires a different planning, different resources, like that. Means the projects are non-repetitive in their nature, and this project can be broken down into identifiable activities which require time and resources for their execution. The project consists of number of activities. These project can be broken down into these number of activities, and each activity will require some resources, and each activity will have that is a deadline or the time bond. So within that time bond, each activity has to be completed so that the entire project can be completed on date, and it is scheduled to be completed by a target date. Means the every project will have a certain time horizon, and within that time horizon, on or before that time horizon, that project has to be completed. It usually involves heavy investment. The whatever the amount required to complete the project is very much heavier comparing to the product, and it usually large and complex with the time horizon of 2 to 3 years. Sometimes the projects may take more than 10 years, while other have lasted for less than 6 months. The time period for completion of the project is normally 2 to 3 years. Sometimes, if the projects are very big and very large enough, which require so many number of activities and internal activities, external activities, like that, then under such case, that project may take more than 10 years. And some very small projects may complete within 6 months also. So overall, the time period or the time taken for completing the project is very high. Then, in order to make the planning for the project, the different that the entities or the different things required will be the manpower resources, then equipments and machineries, tools, then financial resources, materials, time and space resources. These are all the different resources which are required for the completing the project. Then why it is called the most challenging job means challenging job for managing the project means, suppose if the product is there, that product will have a definite standard of operating procedures, and the same standard of operating procedures will be repeatedly done for completing the a batch or the quantity of the products, and these products are manufactured in a confined system which we call it as a factory or plant. The raw materials are brought to that plant and everything is available in that plant. That is the everything is available in a very systematically organized condition. That is the machines and equipments, they are arranged in a sequence according to the technological order in which that product has to be produced. Then whatever the resources, that is the machines, equipments, the human resources, all these things are available at that particular point, and the raw material will enter into that system and it gets converted into the finished product stage by stage, step by step, through passing through the various number of machines, and some external work is done by the other resources like human beings or the manpower, machines, tools, etc., and finally it gets converted into the finished product. Means everything is available at a system and only the raw material is made to flow through that system. That is production. But in case of project, what happens? A project has to be done at a particular location where it is required. The one of the best examples for the project is the construction industry or the construction of the building. Say for example, suppose if you are constructing the dam across a river, that dam has to be constructed at the identified location across the dam, across the river. So in order to construct the dam, all the resources, say manpower, the machines, equipments, then materials, everything has to be brought to that particular location. And under such case, the coordination is one of the most important tasks that a project manager has to perform. And here, the coordinating all the things and making a plan for the a systematic plan and executing the all the activities which are associated with that project and providing the resources timely and completing the project on a scheduled time. So this is very very challenging job for the project manager because it is a unique in its nature and everything has to be coordinated. But in production, all are already readily coordinated, readily organized in the system. Only thing is the following up of the process of converting raw material into the finished product is required. But here all the everything should be done from the scratch. So that is why the project management is considered to be one of the most challenging job for the management. So here in this introduction of this network analysis, here it is mentioned that that is the number of activities, numerous activities throughout the completion of the project are involved, and the details regarding these activities are considered for the planning. to and how to coordinate all these activities and developing a realistic schedule, and then in monitoring the progress of the project is uh, the challenging job for the management. But in order to make an efficient planning, there are two techniques available in the operations research. Those are PERT and CPM. As I earlier mentioned, PERT stands for Program Evaluation and Review Technique, and CPM stands for Critical Path Method. These are available to assist the project manager in carrying out his responsibilities. These techniques make heavy use of network to help plan and display the coordination of all the activities. Dear friends, please remember this PERT and CPM, that is the network analysis techniques, make use of network. The network means it is a graphical representation of all the activities which are involved in the project. This network indicates, or it represents three important aspects of the project. One is the different activities. Then second one is their interrelationship between the activities. And third one is a definite start and end and the time associated with each activity. These are the three things which are depicted or represented graphically in PERT and CPM, that we call it as a network. Okay. So when it comes to the examination, here in the examination, what they do is they will give one project and the activities which are involved in that project and their corresponding interdependency or the relationship between various activities, and time allotted for each activities is given, and based on that you need to draw the network diagram, and after network diagram you have to find out the activities, their criticality, and the time taken for completing that activity. Here, before going for the actual network diagram, drawing the network diagram and identifying the critical activities, let us have the one example which explains us what is project and how the different activities are involved. So before knowing how to draw the network diagram, let us have this what the uses or the applications of this PERT and CPM. Here I have given the list where this PERT and CPM can be used in a variety of the projects. The construction of a new plant. So the planning and execution for the construction of a new plant requires the PERT CPM technique for deciding the scheduled time and also identifying the various the criticality of the various activities. Then the other application of this PERT and CPM is research and development of a new product. The R&D, that research developing a new innovative product or obtaining the technological breakthrough through research and development. Again, the PERT CPM is that network techniques are used. Then the space exploration projects. In any space research organization, for a new project regarding the space exploration, the PERT CPM techniques are used. Then the production of the movie. Again, as I've told, the production of the movie or the movie shooting is done at a particular location where all the required resources to shoot the movie is brought to that particular location. Again, that also comes under the project. The management of that project uses the techniques as PERT and CPM. Then the bidding a ship bidding industry also, the management also uses the PERT and CPM. Then government sponsored projects, relocation of the major facilities, then maintenance of the nuclear reactors. So you just go through all these. So these are the some of the application areas where the application of PERT and CPM is done. Then let us take one example, that is a prototype example here. You just see here, this is a construction company which has enlisted the activities right from the beginning to the end. The project of constructing a building is the construction of the building is the project. As I told, the project consists of number of activities. Here, there are n number of activities are given from A, B, C to n. Then the description regarding each activity is given as excavation, then lay of the foundation, then put up the rough wall, then put up the roof, then exterior plumbing, interior plumbing, then exterior siding, then exterior painting, electrification, then wall board, putting the wall board, then flooring, then painting, then exterior and interior fixtures. So these are the activities, list of activities. And you please see that in the third column, the immediate predecessors are given and the estimated time duration for each activity is given here. That is 2 weeks. The excavation, 2 weeks. Lay the foundation, 4 weeks. These are the duration which is estimated to be allotted for the execution of each activity. Now we can say that the construction of the building is the project. That project consists of these many number of activities, and there is an interdependency between the two all these activities. Then and the immediate predecessors, that is the interdependency of the activities, and the corresponding duration for each activity is given. Based on this, in the examination also, the information of this kind is given to you. Say here, I have taken some problems from the previous question papers. You just see here. A project has 11 activities as below. That is the activity. The duration is given. Then activity and the duration. And here the activities, the durations are given like this. Okay. Then here immediate predecessors, time in weeks for each activities is given. So like that in the examination problem, information is given like this. Okay. So here as there are activities, immediate predecessors. Immediate predecessor means interdependency of various activities. Okay. For example, if you take the first activity, that is a excavation. The excavation is the first and foremost activity which is done when a construction of a building starts. Excavation means everybody knows that the digging the land and from where the foundation work starts. The digging of the land, which we call it as excavation. This excavation is the first and foremost. So there is no any activity which predeceases or which precedes that activity. Means there is no any previous activity to this excavation because this is the first activity. Then after excavation, next we go for the foundation work. In this foundation work has a interdependency. That is, this foundation can only be commenced or it is only be started when the excavation work completes. After finishing the excavation work, then the foundation work will start. Means the excavation work starts on 0th time, takes 2 weeks for the completion, and on the second week, the laying of the foundation starts. So which will last for 4 weeks and completes on 6th week. And next, put up the rough wall. Put up the rough wall, and in the immediate predecessor, B is written. So this B indicates that the start of this putting up of the rough wall will be taken when this B is completed. This B is the immediate predecessor. Please remember, predecessor means the previous activity. Successor means the next activity. Excavation is the predecessor for the laying the foundation. Laying the foundation is the successor of excavation. Like that. The predecessor, immediate predecessors, indicates the relationship or the interdependency of the various activities. And the duration, as we know that this is the time allotted for the each activity. Based on this information, we need to draw the network diagram. The network diagram means it is a graphical, as I have told, it is the symbolic representation of the essential characters or the necessary characteristics of a project, whether it is a PERT or CPM. And these PERT and CPM will be used will be carried out with a reference to this network. This network diagram represent, as I have told, this network represents three important things. One is activity information. That is, one entire project is broken down into the individual activities. These will be represented in the network diagram. Then precedence relationship. That is the immediate predecessors. Precedence relationship means what? It is a inter dependency of the various activities. How the different activities are interrelated. Interrelated in the sense which activity is to be started after completing which activity. So activity one is, if there are three activities, the activity one has no precedence relationship, means there is no any previous activity for the activity one. It is the first activity. And the second activity, it has the immediate predecessor. So there is a precedence constraint or the precedence relationship for the second activity. In what way? Because that second activity has to be started when only when the first activity is completed. Like that, the third activity is also having the precedence relationship with the second activity. So this precedence relationship is represented or identified in the network diagram. Then the third one is a time information. That is the duration of the each activity, when it starts and when it ends. So this information and when the entire project will start and when entire project will get completed, all this information is represented in the network diagram. Please remember, the network diagram should represent all these three activities. Then this network, the project network needs to be convey all these above information. Two alternative types of project networks are available for doing. That is a AOA, that is activity on arc, and another one is activity on node. This activity on arc, before going to know what exactly it is, so what are the things involved, or the what are the graphical representing symbols used in the network diagram are two. One is the circle, which we call it as a node, NODE, node. It is a circle. And another one is the arc, ARC, arc. So this arc is normally represented by arrow mark. Then that arrowhead is always heading towards in a forward direction. The sometimes that no, only these two, that is a circle and arc or the arrow, are used for representing the network diagram. Here there are two ways of representing these. One is activity on arc. So where the activity is represented by an arc, the entire activity is represented by the arrow mark. And another one is activity on a node. That node or the circle represents the activity. So either you can represent the arc or you can represent the node as an activity. By considering that, suppose if you draw the network, then that network is activity on node network. And suppose if you consider the arc itself as an activity, then activity on arc network diagram. Okay, so this is the basic things regarding the network analysis, and we'll continue how to draw the network diagram. What how that network diagram shows all these three information, that is activity information, precedence relationship, and time information. That we'll see in the next session. Thank you.